everybody. I was spinning a cool braid and I figured I would show it off today. And so here it is, and I've of course unbraided it so it looks very undignified at the moment. This is a type of braid I actually haven't gotten to play with myself in a really long time. It's a pure 100% alpaca roving, but in a braid. And normally when we're spinning alpaca or dealing with alpaca, it's more loose, usually more natural. And I was just talking with Mom earlier. Mom's spinning a bunch of alpaca and baby doll sheep wool together, which that's actually a really great combination if you ever get your hands on it. Alpaca and baby doll sheep both have really fine fibers, so like they make a really good blend together between the with all the little short springy fibers and then the soft alpaca ones. But this one was really cool, and here's the label. It's from my friend Christina Mossed with Alight Handwovens. You can see the tag, and she is kind of their dye artist for Alight Handwovens. We have sold some of her bats and braids in the past. She's a friend of mine. We've worked together in the past, and I enjoy having her products on her site as a featured artist. But this one I was spinning for myself. And you can see it was a 4-ounce alpaca braid, and I actually had kind of forgotten that it was 100% alpaca. I thought it was a blend of some sort, but I've been having a lot of fun spinning it. But that being said, I've had to kind of switch gears, if you will, pun intended, on how I would normally spin my fibers, because alpaca has, if you've never spun it before, much shorter little fibers than you know, the wools and longer wools that I'm usually spinning. I think one of my last videos I just made was on BFL blue-faced Leicester, and so those really had like the nice long fibers. So I'm used to doing much more of a long draw with my spinning. That's just kind of my, I feel like all spinners kind of have their comfort level of what they like to spin with. And I usually am spinning long, you know, more like Rambouillet, BFL, Cordell. Like I like the longer fibers, and so this has been a fun change. So just a few tips. And I do have some video footage I will tack on here of me actually spinning. The first thing I did, of course, was unbraid it, and then I have stripped it down into smaller strips, which is what I always recommend in all of my little lessons to do. And pull it apart. You do have to be more gentle with it than you know, you would with other types of wool, just because they are the shorter, fuzzier little fibers. And you can see, and of course I'm being super smart and wearing this black shirt, which of course all the fuzz is going to stick to, but you know, this is my life, so it's okay. I'll just you know, who doesn't want a black tank top with rainbow alpaca fiber stuck to it for the rest of the day? So you know, who cares? But I'm pulling it into little strips this way, because you definitely, as I'm spinning this, I'm having to make myself slow down my feet. I am bad about spinning too quickly if I don't pay attention, and you don't want to get too much twist in this alpaca roving, because it'll, you know, basically you don't want to be trying to draft at the orifice. You want to kind of get it kind of loosened up a little bit here. So this is definitely what I've gone through and done. You can't pull too hard on it, because if you pull too hard, it very easily will pop in two, and it's fine. I'll put all this back together, so don't be worried. But the number one thing I've had to remind myself with spinning this fiber is to slow down my feet, because you definitely, I always tell people that the twist is like the glue that holds the fiber together. So with these shorter fibers, you're definitely, you know, you're gonna need more glue to hold them together and make a stable yarn. So I have, like I said, I have videos I will put on here. I've gone down a size in my gears. So instead of having a larger gear, I've gone down to a smaller gear. And what I always teach in my lessons is, the smaller the gear, then that means for each push of your foot and each rotation of the drive wheel, you're getting more rotations of the flyer head. So smaller gear means more rotations of the flyer head per each time the big wheel goes around. So whether or not you have a single treadle or double treadle wheel, you know, your feet could be doing different things, but basically for each rotation of the big drive wheel on whatever type of wheel you have, the flyer head will go more rotations. So one of the reasons I really like Spinolution wheels is they can get really quick but also very smooth flyer head rotations, which is going to come in handy for spinning these really fine fibers, because that way you're not getting any sort of like herky-jerkiness, you're just getting quick, smooth twist, which will help to hold these fibers together. So you will see that here in a minute. But my problem with that is I get overly excited about it and I just get in a rhythm and not paying attention watching TV or talking to somebody, and my feet will go too fast, and then my fiber will start getting too twisty, because then not only do I have the extra twisty flyer head, but then I have the extra, you know, fast feet with the twisty flyer, and you can see it just kind of becomes a vicious cycle and gets away from me. So that's what I have to remind myself over and over again in my head while I'm spinning this yarn, is to slow down my feet. So I have gone down a size on the flyer head, and then I'm going to consciously try to keep my feet on my King Bee wheel, so it's a really nice rocking side to side motion with my feet and not get into a frantic treadling. So that is my techniques for spinning this alpaca yarn. And like I said, it was just so pretty and it was so cool, and it was something I hadn't spun in a while. And like I said, this was dyed by my friend Christina Mossad. You can find her on Instagram